Yesterday, the central government announced the Union Budget 2021, highlighting the way the Indian economy is to go forward for the next 1 year. Now, among all the announcements was a key announcement pertaining to the mobile and related components manufacturing sector of India, which also includes electronics, which brought away a number of exemptions that the government afforded the manufacturers so far. Now, these exemptions are related to the import customs duties of various parts and subparts of the manufacturing sector. And the government now wants these manufacturers to not just import the subparts or the core components from other countries and compile or assemble them in India, but instead do local component sourcing as well. This is seen as a way for the government to further push the local manufacturing agenda. And as the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman mentioned, this move is expected to contribute to a greater volume of domestic value production. But what does this move really mean for the technology sector, especially the consumer technology sector? Smartphones are going to be the one that's directly impacted, because among the list of items which have been removed from the exemptions list and will now face a 2.5% import customs duty include circuit boards, camera components, and connector components for smartphones, as well as chargers, which have now been targeted by the government. So the plastic molding of a charger and the circuit board will also be put on a higher customs rate, which was 10% before and will now be 15%. Similar implications have been made for solar lamps and other related electronics and appliances sectors, such as the compressors of refrigerators and air conditioners. Now, speaking to analysts, Navkendra Singh, who is the research director for mobile devices at IDC India, stated that the biggest sector that is going to be hit is the sub 15,000 rupees smartphone sector of India. For reference, this is the highest volume smartphone market of India, since this represents the bulk volume or the budget devices which are sold in India very frequently. And these devices typically are sold by companies at a very, very thin margin. The result of this thin margin is that companies are often left without any sort of headroom to absorb any increase in taxes. We have seen an increase in GST before. We've also seen last year in October an increase in the tax rate for display panel, the 10% display panel tax that has been applied in this sector. And these have led to slight price increases. And Navkendra Singh of IDC believes that this move by the central government is going to lead to a slight price increase. And importantly, this move might also mean that more manufacturers actually start selling smartphones without bundled chargers in the boxes. Apple was the first company to make this move with the iPhone 12 series, and they also made the move applicable to the older iPhone 11 series. And their move was sort of met with a mixed response from the industry, but now it seems like more manufacturers are going to adapt to this move. Prachir Singh, who is a senior research analyst at Counterpoint India, also agrees to this and states that at the end of the day, this is the government's real push to sort of amplify the local manufacturing in India. He states that manufacturers who work on camera components, etc., have already working on making devices in India pretty extensively, and they already source local components to an extent, in the sense that they manufacture these components in a semi-knocked down process, so subparts are still imported from outside. But with this move, the government wants these manufacturers to do complete local sourcing, and as a result, this push is being looked at as a way for the government to compel these manufacturers to get more components from India rather than importing from outside. In terms of the market demand, both the analysts note that this might not really have that big an impact in terms of a decline in demand as a result of this tax increase. Even if the prices increase, there would be a very slight increase. It would not be a major increase even in the budget segment. While in the premium segments, it might not really lead to a price increase, because the premium portfolio of features that are offered by the manufacturers in the premium segment can sort of absorb the slight increase in price in the manufacturing chain. So this is the way that the smartphone industry might be affected in India. So in the near term, if you are planning to buy a smartphone, unless you plan to buy it right away, over the next few months, you might expect a slight increase in the prices of smartphones in India, especially ones that are priced below 15,000 rupees.